In a small village on the edge of the cursed forest of Illyria lived a boy named Hero, 16 years old. Known by everyone as the eternal loser. He had no skill in combat or magic, and his classmates often mocked him relentlessly. "Why am I always so weak?" Hero thought, hiding behind the trees from their ridicule, wishing he could have even a tiny bit of power to prove himself. That stormy day, the village's quiet was shattered. Strange shadow creatures descended upon the village, breaking houses and sending villagers fleeing in panic. No one was left to fight. Except Hero. He ran into the forest, escaping the monsters, and there he found a forbidden shadow tome hidden among the roots of an enormous tree. The moment he touched it, a strange black light radiated out, and the shadows around him began moving as if alive. A massive dark sword formed in his hands, and Hero felt power coursing through him for the first time. Trembling, he swung the sword at a monster and to everyone's shock, it vanished into the shadows. But his newfound power was unstable and dangerous. One wrong move could destroy everything nearby. Suddenly, a young sorceress from the Light Clan Miora appeared, her eyes filled with determination. "Control yourself, Hero. If you keep going like this, neither you nor the village will survive." Miora began teaching Hero how to control the blazing shadow, a power that allowed him to create weapons, shields, and even wings from darkness. During his first training session, Hero discovered that the shadows responded to his emotions. Fear made his power chaotic, while focus amplified it. At the end of the day, Hero sat at the edge of the forest, looking at his mud-stained hands and the shadows dancing around them. He thought, "I'm just a loser boy. But maybe, just maybe, I can become stronger than anyone." And so began Hero's journey from a weak, ridiculed boy to the blazing shadow warrior, with promises of epic adventures, formidable enemies, and the mysterious secrets of shadow magic waiting to be discovered. Days after discovering the blazing shadow, Hero trained relentlessly with Miora deep within the forest. Every morning, the shadows swirled around him like living entities, waiting for his command. Every strike he practiced made him feel a rush of power and a pang of fear. But peace was short-lived. A figure appeared through the swirling fog, a man clad in a black cloak, his eyes cold and sharp. This was Kaisen, one of the Shadow Clan's elite warriors, sent by the Dark One himself. His presence alone made the air heavy, oppressive, as if the shadows themselves obeyed him. "I've heard of the boy who knows nothing of magic," Kaisen said, his voice smooth but laced with menace. "Let's see if you even deserve to live." Hero's heart pounded. His palms were sweaty, and a cold shiver ran down his spine. He had never faced an enemy like this. Every instinct screamed to run, but he couldn't leave the village, and he couldn't let Miora face him alone. Kaisen lunged, moving faster than Hero could track. In a blur, he slashed a dark sword that crackled with shadows. Hero barely raised his blazing shadow sword, and the strike shattered the ground near him, sending shards of earth flying. Fear surged, his shadow flickered uncontrollably. The sword in his hands felt heavier than ever. His body screamed to retreat. But then, he heard Miora's voice. "Focus, Hero. Don't let fear control you." Hero took a deep breath. He closed his eyes for a moment, feeling the shadows wrap around him like a second skin. Slowly he let go of panic, and a strange calmness replaced it. When he opened his eyes, his sword glowed brighter, and wings of shadow unfurled from his back, stretching like dark flames into the sky. He felt power coursing through every nerve, his heartbeat synchronized with the shadows. Every movement was fluid, precise, yet terrifying. Fear had transformed into exhilaration. Hero charged. The air whistled as his blazing shadow sword cut through Kaisen's defenses, striking with a force he never thought he possessed. Kaisen staggered back, surprised but not defeated. He grinned. "So this is your power, not bad. But can you withstand this?" Kaisen summoned shadow beasts, grotesque forms that lunged at Hero from every direction. Each strike forced Hero to react instinctively, slicing the creatures apart mid-air. The ground shook with explosions of shadow energy. Sweat stung his eyes, muscles screamed, and adrenaline surged so strongly he felt almost weightless. For the first time, Hiro realized what it felt like to truly fight for survival. It wasn't about strength alone, it was about focus, instinct, and heart. Every swing of his sword, every movement of his shadow wings, was a conversation with the darkness itself. Finally, Hiro saw an opening. Concentrating all his energy, he channeled the full blazing shadow into a massive strike. The sword glowed as if it were alive, and a wave of dark energy shot forward, engulfing Kaisen and his remaining shadow beasts. The force of it shook the trees, tore the fog apart, and lit up the forest in black flames. When the light faded, Kaisen had been forced to retreat, injured but alive. Hiro dropped to his knees, chest heaving, body trembling, shadows slowly retracting. Every nerve was on fire, every muscle screamed, but he had done it. Miora ran to him, concern and pride shining in her eyes. "You did it, Hiro. You controlled it. You're stronger than I imagined." Hiro looked at his hands, still glowing faintly with residual shadows, and smiled weakly. "I'm still a loser boy, but I feel alive." And with that, Hiro took his first true step toward becoming the Blazing Shadow Warrior. He had faced real combat, tasted fear, and survived not as a loser, but as someone beginning to wield the darkness. The forest had barely recovered from Hiro's first encounter with Kaisen when the ground trembled beneath a thunderous roar. From the horizon, hundreds of shadow creatures poured forward, led by Kaisen himself. Their eyes glowed with malice, and the air was thick with the oppressive power of the Dark One. Hiro's heart pounded. Sweat ran down his temples as he gripped his blazing shadow sword, wings of shadow unfurling behind him. This was no ordinary enemy. This was an army, and every second could mean death. Miora stood beside him, her hands glowing with radiant light. "Hiro, we have to work together. Focus, or we'll be overwhelmed." The first wave crashed against them. Hiro spun, slashing with his blazing shadow sword. Each swing sent shards of dark energy slicing through the shadow beasts, their screeches echoing like screams of the damned. Every strike sent vibrations up his arms. Every movement felt heavier than the last, yet exhilarating. Kaisen moved through the battlefield like a shadow himself, cutting through Hiro's strikes, forcing him to dodge and weave continuously. Hiro felt his lungs burn, his legs screaming under the weight of adrenaline and magic. Fear nipped at the edges of his mind, but he refused to surrender. Suddenly, Miora projected a shield of radiant light, creating a protective dome around them. The shadows of the attacking army shattered against it, fragments of darkness dissipating into sparks. Hiro felt a brief moment of relief, then Kaizen's voice cut through the chaos. "You think you can defend against all of us, boy?" Hiro's chest heaved. He closed his eyes for a split second, letting the shadows around him pulse and flow. His sword elongated, spinning into a whirlwind of black blades, each infused with energy that resonated with the fury of his heartbeat. The wings on his back spread wider, catching the wind, giving him speed and agility beyond human limits. The battlefield erupted in a storm of light and shadow. Hiro dove into the heart of the army, slicing through waves of monsters, feeling the raw power of his blazing shadow respond to his will.